Hello, everyone. I welcome you again to Widow Talk. I'm grateful that you're here. And the topic that we're diving into today is very close to my heart: how to navigate and embrace our new or changed identity after we lose our spouse. Now, why this topic matters is when we lose our spouse, it's not only their absence that we face, it's also the loss of the identity of who we were with them. For many of us, the role of a caregiver, a wife, a partner, it was part of the identity of who we were. So when that is gone, when we lose that, it literally means starting life over again in so many ways that we never even imagined. And since it's a personal journey, so there is no right or wrong way about it. And I will be sharing reflections from my own experience, and I invite you to share your thoughts also. Let's discover this topic together. And as always, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And it can be like, what has helped you rediscover your identity? What was the hardest part? Are you still struggling? And let's connect on this topic. Hello. On the fateful day when my husband passed away, that day onwards, I found myself asking the question, who am I now? And this question felt so overwhelming because I hadn't thought about my identity outside of this relationship. And for years, for 18 lovely years to be exact, I was his wife. And there was so much meaning attached to this title. And I had shaped my life around this title, my hopes, my dreams, even how I envisioned the future. It was all around this life that I had with him. And when I lost him, I realized that I was not only grieving his loss, I was also grieving the part of me that existed with him. And when I lost him, I had shaped my world around us. Our routine, our lifestyle, our dreams, even the little things that we shared, like the jokes and the laughter. And with all this gone in a split second, it felt like I was without an anchor, as if I was drifting, and that also without a compass. So here's the thing. Losing a part of your identity does not mean that you have lost all of it. It is an opportunity, although a painful one, to rediscover who you are now. And that does not mean that you are forgetting the version of yourself that existed with them. You're just evolving. And grief has a way of loosening us, but at the same time, it also gives us a chance to reweave the threads into something new. And although this process of evolving is hard, it's slow, doesn't happen overnight, but it does give way to let you embrace the pieces of yourself that remain and give way to growth. So, where do you begin when the person you were feels so far away? I've always heard people say, and I still hear this being said often, that taking one day at a time. In the early days, I used to take 1 hour at a time. This is how I used to spend those difficult days when my husband passed away. This is how I used to try to get in this new role, this new identity that I found myself in those difficult days. And when confronted with a task, I remember I used to question, is it important? Is it necessary? What if I don't do it? And it took me a while to come to the question, will it bring me peace? Will I feel good after it? And you know what? In those days, what felt good was finding an obscure corner and just sitting there and crying. A place where no one could see me, hear me. And I still feel it's pretty interesting that I did this so many times, especially at night when everyone was sleeping. No one heard me, no one saw me crying in those moments. And afterwards, I felt so much peace. So, this is how I used to spend the early days after my husband's death. But as time went on, and I, little by little, started accepting the situation and getting more into this new identity and recognizing it, trying to acknowledge it, things started to get into perspective. And from this, I went on to journaling, and it was not the conventional journaling, like not the one that you do on a notepad. I used to take my phone and I used to write all these notes to my husband, whatever I was feeling at that time, whatever I felt heavy, whatever I felt needs to be discussed. And I knew that no answers were coming, but it somehow felt good. It somehow gave me that sense of peace. This is how I used to try to get in this new role, this new identity. And with time, long walks were added into this routine, that this habit that gave me peace, that made me feel good because I love being in nature. It's great to be surrounded by trees and greenery. Losing my husband gave me a chance to try things which I may have wanted to do but never tried before. And traveling is one of them. And it felt strange at first because I was not used to doing things without him. But here I was, trying to step into this new identity that I found myself in. And I traveled to Islamabad to grieve the passing of my husband. I stayed at my favorite place, dined at my favorite restaurants, went hiking on one of the Margala trails alone, and cried a lot, thought a lot, wrote a lot, this time on a notebook. And this really helped me clear my head, put things into perspective. And this was a step towards embracing my new identity. I'll be honest here. Handling things that my husband used to manage like the back of his hand was no easy job. And from managing finances to running a business, and in my case, starting a new business, doing stuff around the house. And all of this sometimes became so overwhelming that I wanted to give up. But somehow I kept going. And every time I got a job done, it felt like I was moving a step closer to this new identity, the identity that I had after him being gone from my life and my children's lives. Think about something that you have done recently, big or small. This can be maybe handling a tough situation, starting a hobby, or even just going through a hard day. All of these actions, they are the building blocks towards forming your new identity. I remember this one time when I had a severe toothache and I had to go to the dentist. And when I went there, he said, your molar is infected and it needs to be extracted out. And I was like, okay, go ahead, extract it. And yeah, he extracted it. It was later when I came back, I found out that it's kind of a mini surgery. And people take a week or so to make a mind that they have to go through the surgery and then give a green signal to the dentist to actually extract it. But the moment I was posed with this question, I was like, who else is there to ask? So let's go on with it. So this is one incident that I remember of me embracing my new identity. Let's talk about the emotions that make the process even harder: fear and guilt. At first, I was terrified that moving forward would mean forgetting my husband. I was worried that embracing change would somehow erase the love that we shared. But today I know that moving forward does not mean forgetting. It just means carrying his love with me into a new chapter of my life. And I can't tell you the number of times that I have felt guilty on enjoying a situation, on laughing, on feeling good. And all of a sudden, I used to come to a still with these questions in my mind. Shouldn't I be feeling sad? Why am I laughing so much? What will he think? And with time, I've come to the realization that grief and joy can coexist. It's okay to enjoy situations. It's okay to feel good. It's okay to laugh. It's all okay. Sometimes it's not just our guilt, it's these other thoughts about what will other people think. Will people judge me for changing, for moving on, for being happy? But here's the truth: it's your journey. No one else gets to decide how you feel, how you heal, and who you become. So give yourself permission to grow. You're not erasing their memory by living your life, by embracing your new identity, for becoming a new person. You are honoring their love by living your life fully. In those early days, sometimes my goal was just to get out of the bed. That was the best I could do, and well, that was enough. But as time went on, this realization hit me hard that whatever I may be going through, whatever I'm feeling, I have to be there for my kids because for them, I am their whole world now. So even in the days when I was not feeling the best, I tried to make sure that all of the requirements were met. How much I succeeded in that, I don't know, but I do know one thing, that it did feel like small victories by the end of the day. As time went on, I realized that survival is only the beginning. And slowly, I allowed myself to imagine a life beyond pain. This led me to set new goals, smaller ones, but these smaller goals turned into something bigger. And I realized that I can dream. And I also realized that these dreams were different from what I had dreamt with my husband of our future together. But another realization that I came across was that when you are living in an altered reality, in a new reality, the dreams can evolve, the dreams can change, and it's okay. And it's also okay to pursue these new dreams one step at a time. When you lose someone so integral to life, it's only natural to feel the purpose of your life taken away. And for me, rediscovering this purpose has been a big part of my healing journey. And a turning point was when I realized that I could use my experience to be there for others who were walking a similar path. And this is how Widow Talk was born, a space to connect and share stories and be there for each other. Your purpose can look like anything. It can be anything from nurturing relationships with friends and family, reigniting an old passion that gives you joy, or simply going through a tough day with calm and contentment. Because a purpose does not have to be grand or world changing. It can be something as simple as finding your light, finding what lights you up, and leaning into that, finding what resonates with you, and what leaves you with peace and calm. That's it. The journey of rediscovering yourself after loss is not linear. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and often full of setbacks. And there will be days when you'll feel all hopeful and energized, and then there will be other days when you will feel too overburdened by grief. That's okay. Healing does not mean that you're never going to feel sad again. It just means that you are learning to carry sadness and joy together. Allow yourself the grace of having not so good days and trust that even on the hard days, you're moving forward, even if it's just an inch. Progress isn't always visible, but it's there. Healing is a journey, and allow yourself the time and space to get into this new version of yourself. Embracing your new identity after loss is one of the hardest things that you'll do, but it's probably one of the most empowering ones too. And it's a way of honoring the person you were, the person you lost, and the person you have now become. So think about this. What is one part about yourself that you have rediscovered or discovered for the first time? I'd love to know about it in the comments. If this video resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more conversations like this. If you know of someone who needs encouragement today, please share this video with them. Remember, you're not alone. We're in this together. Thank you for spending time with me. Until the next video, take good care of yourselves. Thank you.